the Old Testament. There's many times where a prophecy is given and it is only partially fulfilled immediately and it's completely fulfilled later on. An example might be Genesis 16, where it says Ishmael will be a man of violence and will be hostile towards his brothers. Ishmael himself was not that. Him and Isaac got along great. We don't know how he got along with his other 4 brothers that were born after Sarah died, but we know for a fact that him and Isaac were together. They buried their father together in peace and they lived next to each other in the region. So Ishmael does not fulfill it completely. He partially fulfills it because his name is Ishmael and he becomes a mighty nation, but he doesn't completely fulfill it because he's not super violent. Muhammad does fulfill that because he is super violent. So Muhammad could be the total fulfillment of that prophecy and Ishmael is the partial fulfillment. We also have a lot of these with Jesus and with Tyre, as we'll get to. Tyre was partially destroyed by Nebuchadnezzar and fully destroyed by Alexander the Great and Muslims later on, which we'll get to at the end of the video. Jesus was partially fulfilling like Isaiah 11, where we have the shoot will come, the Spirit of the Lord will rest on him, but righteously will judge the needy, his righteousness will be his belt. So he's gonna, he judges by not what he sees, not what he hears, but he knows intrinsically because he is God. So he fulfills these aspects of him. He's sinless, he's righteous. He has the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of counsel, the spirit of knowledge. He knew the thoughts of men. But he also didn't bring in the Davidic kingdom of peace that the people were waiting for. So this did not be fulfilled in Jesus, and that's why Jews are like, oh, he's a false prophet. But whenever we think about dual fulfillment prophecy, and we can agree on dual fulfillment prophecy between Jews and Christians, it doesn't necessarily have to be about Jesus. We can agree that the head of the serpent being crushed by the woman is a future prophecy that is partially fulfilled in Abraham and his seed and the promises through that, but it's not entirely fulfilled. There's a covenant that comes in Isaac and Jacob fulfill some aspects of the covenants that are given to Abraham, but it's not complete until the Messiah comes. So there's partial fulfillment, but yet future fulfillment expected. Jews and Christians agree on that. We just disagree on what is actually being the case. So we say, okay, for things like Isaiah 7:14, this is for sure a dual fulfillment prophecy, and we know it from the text. So a young woman, whether it's a virgin or just a young woman in general, she did not fulfill that category, and he was not called Emmanuel. It's Meher-Shalash-Hashbaz. So we have this aspect and this aspect not being fulfilled in Isaiah and his wife. So this is a prophecy that's partially fulfilled. It was a sign, and he was not old enough to know right from wrong, and the kings were destroyed. So there is partial fulfillment here, yet it's not entirely fulfilled. So we agree, Jews and Christians, that this is not a fulfillment in its entirety. Jesus fulfills it in its entirety.